Hi everyone, it's Orkan. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to solve LeetCode 79 word search problem. So let's take a look at the problem. The problem is that we are given an M2N grid of characters board and a string word, and we need to return true if word exists in the grid. So what's that mean? So let's take this example. So for example, we are given a grid with the letters M to N, and we need to find that we are given M to N grid and we are given a word as an input. So we need to find that whether that word is in that grid. For example, in this case, it is because A, B, C, D, E, D is in that grid. So that's why we are returning true. And in this case is the same. So we are given a grid and we need to find out that whether or not SEE is in that grid. So it is, so we are again returning true. Let's say that we have another example. It's not word. Let's say that the SEE D, let's say DE, SEE DE. So it's not in this grid, so we cannot, doesn't matter which combination, which path we take, we cannot make it SEEDE. So in that case, we are returning false. All right, that's the problem statement. Let's go to the explanation part. Okay, let's take one example and work on it. So let's say that we have this problem and we have M to N is equals to 3. We have here A, B, C, D, E, F, N, M, N, and the K, right? So, and our word is, let's say this one, A, D, M. So our word is equals to A, D, M, N, M, and the K. Okay, so this is our word and this is what we need to do. What approach possibly we can use in this case? So the approach that we are going to use, I think that from here we can assume that we are going to use that DFS search or backtracking. So what we are going to do, we are going to find that we are going to traverse our grid and we are going to find the first letter in our word. For example, A, right? If the A is there, then what we are going to do, we are going to explore that in 4 directions, here, 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 and here, and see that does it lead us to the word. If it does, then we are going to return true. If it's not, then we are going to return false. If there are, let's say, 2 A's, one A is also here, let's say, right? Instead of E, we have A, then we are going to also explore this. In 4 directions. So the algorithm is that we are traversing our grid. We are finding the first letter, A, and if it exists, then for that letter we are traversing into 4 directions, from up, down, left, and right, and see that if there is any DFS searching the grid and checking that if the word is there. If it's there, we'll return true. If otherwise, we'll return false. All right, let's go to the solution part. All right, let's go. First thing that we are gonna do, let's iterate over our array, 2-dimensional array. So int I is equals to I is less than board length. Board length, and we are just incrementing that. Then saying we can actually copy paste this for here. So we can copy paste this for here, J and J board 0th index. So and the J++. So what we do in this case, we are checking that the if, so if board I and J, if it equals to word first character, so we can start to iterate first character, and then character at 0. If it equals, it means that we find the first word, and from that point we can go in the 4 directions and iterate, and recursively try to find. So DFS search and try to find that do we have a word in the grid or not, in our board or not. So so let's call it backtracking, or let's call it PT, where we are gonna pass our board, and we are gonna pass I and the J, the index where we are going to start. What also we need? We also need the pass the character of the word that we are going to use, the index of the word that we are going to use in our backtracking. So since we are starting from 0, let's put that to 0. If that is the case, so if both of these are true, so which means that we find the first letter and the backtracking returned as true, in that case we are just return true, right? Otherwise we are returning false by default. Okay, so now let's go to our main part, which is backtracking. So that should be private, it's going to be boolean, and let's call it backtracking. So what we are going to do here, we are going to pass our, so we can basically copy paste what we have here. So yeah, we also need to pass here word. So we are going to pass here word, and we are going to pass here int index of the word, and we are going to pass I and J here, int I and int J. Okay, so yeah, board, int I, int J, word, and index. Okay, great. So what we need to do here, we are going to iterate in 4 directions, and if in any of those directions we find that there is in any of those directions we find our case, then we are returning true. So let's do that. If let's recursively call our backtracking here. So we are going in 4 directions, I plus 1 word, and we are incrementing our index here. We can just copy paste this one. So in all 4 directions. So in all 4 directions, and I plus 1, I minus 1, so up, down, left, right, and the J plus 1 and the J minus 1. So J plus 1 and the J minus 1. if any of these direction, so if any of these true, then in that case, we are returning true, right? We are returning true. If not, then by default we are gonna return false. So let's put our base case. The base case is so we are incrementing the index, and every time we are comparing the we are gonna check that if every time word at character at index, character at index, if it is not equal to our board I and J, then in that case, if it's not equal, then in that case we are returning false. Okay, so in that case we are returning false. So basically we are backtracking, and in every iteration, in every iteration, we are checking that if the next character is equals if the next character is equals in the word, let's say that we have A, B, C, D, E, right? Now we are in the C, and we are checking that if the letter on the board is equals to that. If it's not, then we are we are backtracking from that branch right away, so we are returning false. But the base case for us would be that if the index equals to the word length, then in that case, if it equals to, then this is the base case for us. Then in that case we are returning true. Yeah, one more thing that we need to do, we need to check that so we are going in 4 directions, up, down, left, and right, but we also have to make sure that we are not exceeding our grid. So if I is less than 0 or J less than 0 and less than 0 or yeah, I is more than or equal to board length, or let's copy paste this, or J is more than so J exceeds the grid, then in that case we are returning false, right? Yeah, that is it. Yeah, one more thing that we need to do. In order to avoid visiting the same cell twice, we need to mark it with some, the cell that we already visited, we need to mark it with some character, and after backtracking, we need to return the same value again to that cell. So for that, we are going to set that value. So we are going to, what we are gonna do, we are gonna take the value of the I at that cell. So let's call it character, let's just call it temp, and we are going to set the value to I and J. So at that specific cell, we are going to set that value to our temp, which we are going to return to after we backtracking. equals to temp. But for now, time being, we are setting board value to, yeah. And yeah, that, let me check one more time. Yeah, that should be it. Let's run it and see. Let's see. Okay, this one we can remove. So equals all right, great. It works as expected. Let's go over it one more time. So what we do, we are going over our board and trying to find the first character. We are trying to find the first character of the word. If that exists, so it means that from that point we can go into 4 directions, backtrack. So we are going to 4 directions, DFS search, and if we find if we find our word in any of those directions, so we can return true. So that's exactly what we are doing. So we are first trying to find the first character. If it equals, then in that case we are going and exploring the option. So to do that, we are going into 4 directions, up, down, left, and right. And every time we are increasing the index of our word. So for example, if any of those cases, in any of the scenarios that we are exploring, if the index is not equal to index is not equal to I and j, so it means that it's not equal to that cell. In that case, we are returning false. If we increase cell, it means that so we found all characters in that word. Then in that case, index will be equal to length of the word. So that's our base case. In that case, we are returning true. Also, we need to check that while we are DFS searching, we have to make sure that we are not going over our cell. So direction, so it should not be I and j should not be less than 0, and it should not be more than length of the board. So otherwise we are going to the right, left, and up and down direction, so we're exceeding the size of the board. And also one more thing that we need to check, that if in order not to visit the same cell twice, once we visited that, we are marking it with some character, with any character, and then once we are backtracking, we are changing the value we're changing value back to the value that it was. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole solution. I hope you like it. Hope you like my content. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. That's the only way how you can support me. See you next time. Bye.